Hello everyone. Today we are going to work on SQL join, which is one of the most important topic in SQL. If you are not aware about SQL join, or if you are not comfortable on joins, it will be difficult for you to crack any interview, whether it's data analytics, data science, data engineering. See, joins are really important topic because you have to deal with multiple tables in your day-to-day life as a data analyst, as a data engineer, or whether, depends on the role. So you have to bring the information of multiple tables together, and joins will be required. So today we will cover four basic type of joins which is mostly used. There are multiple more joins also, depend on the which platform you use, but these are four uh, basic joins which we will cover, which is the inner join, left join, right join, and full outer join. So let's start with inner join. What is inner join? Let's say you have two tables and you want only matching data from both of the table. You don't want to include any unmatched data, just matching data or common data. For that you will use inner join. For example, we have consumer table which has consumer id, name, email, sign up date, and source. Second table is purchase, which has purchase ID, consumer ID, product, amount, purchase date. Now, you want to find out from the consumer table that which of the consumer have made any purchase. You don't want to look just this table consumer id because these have different values and this has different, but you want to just check out of this particular table how many you consumer had made purchase. So you have to bring out the common value, the consumer available in this particular table and consumer available in the purchase table. So let's write a query for that. So select, you want consumer, so consumer id or name, whatever your requirement is, I'll use consumer id. Now, if you are joining tables, you have to use alias, so you can specify from which table you are using which column. If you won't use it, it will throw an error, or even if not throwing error, it will be really hard to understand from which table you are bringing the value. So always use alias with the columns name. So I'm using C for consumer table and P for purchase table. So we need consumer id, so C dot consumer id. Now, if we need any other information regarding according to the requirement, we can use it. Let's say from purchase table we want the purchase id, right? So we will find out which consumer has made which purchase. So I'll use here p dot purchase id from consumer table, and I'll use alias c. Now we have to join the purchase table with it, so which join? Inner join. In case of inner join, if you don't you mention inner, just mention join, it will work fine, but read it enhance the readability which join you have used, directly mention here. So inner join with purchase table, so purchase p on keyword on will, so on will reflect that which column you are using to join. So per consumer id column is common in both table. In consumer table it is primary key, and in purchase table it acts as a foreign key which indicating towards the per consumer table. So c dot consumer id equals p dot consumer id. Okay, now we'll run this and see the output. See, now we have consumer 1. If I sort it so bad for better readability. So order by ascending. So if I run it, so consumer ID 1, 2, 3. Basically, these three consumers have made purchase from the consumer table. There are multiple more other consumer also there in the purchase table, but they are not available in our consumer table. For example, let me show you here. Now, if you see, consumer table have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and purchase table have 1, 2, 1, 3 and 6. There are no 4 and 5. That's why we have only matched these four rows, 1, 2, 1 and 3, which are common from the consumer table, and that's what came as an output. Show you again here, 1, 1, 2, 3. Got it? So that's how we do use inner join for requirement. Now left join. Left join use when we want complete information from one table and only matching information from the other table. It is mostly used when we wants to find out ratio, percentage. That time it really helps. For example, we want to check percentage of customer who made purchases. I mean, out of total customer, how many, what is the percentage of customer who made the purchase, right? So let's do this. Select. We want consumer who have made purchase divided by total consumer, right? So for before doing aggregation, let's bring these things and let's see how it looks. So select c dot consumer id and p dot purchase id from consumer c. Now here left join purchase p on c dot consumer id equals p dot consumer id. Here I run it this particular query. So now if you can see here, we have all the consumer information from the consumer table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and only consumer information who have made the purchase, right? One has two purchase two times and 2 and 3. Okay, now if our question is just to bring information like this, we can use it. But if we want to know that what was the percentage of consumer who made purchase, so it doesn't matter how many times they purchase, we just want to confirm the only their unique value, right? So for that we will use here, uh, we will use distinct keyword that will provide only unique values. But because we want the ratio or percentage, so we will use here count of this. uh, we want count of this because there are only four values, or yeah. So we will have purchase id and divide by count of consumer id. We don't need this. because we want purchase. Now we have here, but we want unique value of consumer out of total consumer. So we will use their distinct and multiply by 100. So if we run this, we will get, so it brings the value as 80%. So I guess you understand how it will work. One suggestion here, if you are not using MySQL, you are using any other platform like Postgre. So for that, please use 1.0 multiply this. Otherwise, your value always come in form of integer, not in float. For example, if there is 5 divided by 2 in Postgre, if you are not using 1.0 multiply by that, so it will give you answer 2. Okay, so always, or 3, according to the what requirement. I haven't worked on Postgres in a long time, so I'm not remember, but yes, it will never give you answer in a float value if you are not using 1.0. Okay, but if you are using on working on MySQL, that's okay, it will give you a float value. Now we have used left join to find out the percentage of purchase made by user. Sorry, uh, out of total consumer, how many users have made purchases, right? Now where to use right join? Right join use comes in the picture when the role changes. What we have done in left join, we have to reverse the role in right join. For example, you want to find out what was the total percentage of purchase made by consumer. I mean, we have a consumer table. There are also some users, right, who have made purchase. So we want to match it with the consumer table and then find out how, what was the percentage of that purchase. So we will write the query here, select count of, this time we will use, because the role changes, we will use consumer ID here, c dot consumer ID divide by count distinct p dot, sorry, p dot purchase id into 100 from, because we are using right join. So I mean, we can do it by left join also, but you have to switch the table name here. From, we have to use purchase, but we are using right join, so we don't need to shuffle it. We will use same as above, consumer c right join purchase p on c dot consumer id equals p dot consumer id. Let's see what will be the output here. It will, I mean, showing the same, but the role is reverse, because we know that only known we know that only three of those five users have made the purchase. So it's, I mean, it's just a way to show the result, but the result will be same, right? Now, full outer join. The full outer join doesn't work in MySQL. There is no name as full outer join in MySQL. There are other RDMS system where it works, like Postgre and um, MS Server, but not in MySQL. For MySQL, what you have to do, you have to do left join, right join, and you have to bring them as an union. So let's say we want to see consumer ID and purchase ID. Okay, so how it looks, so we will do select c dot consumer id, and p dot purchase id from consumer c left join purchase p on c dot consumer id equals p dot consumer id. Okay, and we have to do right join and do the union. Union is another command which join the table vertically. Right now we are joining table sorry, we are joining the table side by side. Now we have to join one another table, like where we have the matching column, consumer id purchase id, we just have to bring the other tables rows below the current table row, right? So that's how we have to do. So let's do it. Now we have left join, we will use union. There is two union and union all. In, if you don't want to bring duplicate value, always use union, and there, that's why we are using union. And I'll paste this, and here I will use right join. Okay, and if I run it, see, first look here, still here, we know that uh, one consumer one has made two purchase, two made one purchase, and three made one purchase, right? Four and five had no purchase, right? In the left join we saw that. Now when we will do right join, for right join there was a purchase id for consumer 6, but we do not have a consumer 6 in our consumer table, so it will show null here. And now we are bringing all the information, right? So this is how we do full outer join in MySQL. If you have other platform, you can directly use full outer join and you will get the data, but that's the trick working for MySQL. So that was the four joins I wanted to share with you. There's one self join. Self join is something somewhere we use when we have to compare a table's data with itself. There is a certain scenario that we want to compare the data from its previous value or current value, or let's say there are two types of id. For example, there's an employee table with employee id and manager id, and we want to compare with employee and manager id. So that time we use self join. You don't have to mention anything, just have to mention join and the table names, the same table name with different alias. Let's say you have consumer table, so you will use from consumer C1 join consumer C2. Okay, that's how you can use that. Also, there is a cross join in MySQL. It is a used as a Cartesian product. I don't want to show here, but I mean there's a not appropriate data, but I will give you an example. Let's say you went to a clothes shop and you found out that there is a t-shirt with three colors, red, blue and white, and every t-shirt has three sizes: medium, large, extra large. So how many t-shirts you want to find out, how many t-shirts are total there. So for that kind of query you can use your cross join, where you have to just you will find answer that for red there are three t-shirts: medium, large, extra large; for white, medium, large, extra large; and for blue, medium, large, extra large. So there are nine t-shirt total to find out that result. And there's a tip that you do not have to use this particular thing in cross join, because ultimately you are just doing a Cartesian product. You are not joining the table with matching column. So we will never use we don't use on thing in cross join. So that was the last join I wanted to share. But the most important join for you is inner join and left join. These two join you will use most of the time frequently. So work on these joints, practice as much as you can. You can share your doubts in the comment, or if you are working on a query and you cannot solve it, share it with me. I'll provide the solution with you. Also keep practicing, and please like the video and subscribe the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.